Hi, this is Warlow from Business Loan Services and welcome to my Friday Business Finance Bulletin, a weekly roundup of news, tips, ideas and strategies on raising finance and dealing with banks. So what are we looking at this week? Well, I've got some news about some new legislation that the government is proposing to introduce to help small businesses. Late payment, a look at how it continues to be a strain on cash flow for many businesses. And in the alternative crowdfunding scene, some news of alternative lenders coming together and the launch of a new bank. And in my business finance tip of the week, a chat with entrepreneur and speaker Steve Houghton-Burnett, in which he shares 3 tips on crowdfunding, especially if you're looking to raise equity through that route. So let's start off with news from the new government about what it's doing to help businesses. Now, in the previous Parliament, the government introduced a small business enterprise bill, and they're looking to do the same again in this current Parliament. So in July, they're going to be launching a new enterprise bill, and a couple of things that have come out of it following an announcement by the new business secretary this week. The first thing they're looking to do is to continue the bonfire that they have on red tape and bureaucracy generally. They're looking over the next 5 years to burn away the equivalent of about £10 billion in red tape and bureaucratic rules, all designed to help businesses have much more flexibility to grow. Also, a continued focus again on late payment. Government realises this is a big problem for businesses, as we'll see in a moment. And so what they're proposing to do, well, they want to put together something called the Small Business Conciliation Service to help big businesses and small businesses get together to iron out problems, and also help small business owners particularly get better educated on what their rights are and what legal rights they have to solve problems. So not much detail on that at the moment, but when more of that is launched in July, of course I'll bring you that news. Now, late payment, as we've mentioned before, it's a big problem for businesses where cash flow is concerned. And the survey caught my eye this week, carried out by the insolvency trade body R3. And it particularly had a look at the impact that late payment has when it comes to insolvencies. Now, first of all, they found that over the last 6 months, there's been a 15% increase in businesses who are saying they suffer from late payment. It's a massive jump. But also when it comes to insolvencies, R3 found that late payment was either a major factor or a big issue when it came to insolvencies. In fact, they reckon that late payment had a big impact in 1 in 5 insolvencies. Now, that's a big proportion. 49% of businesses are saying that they've now suffered an instance of late payment. And who's suffering the most? Well, perhaps not surprisingly, it's sole traders and small businesses. Why? Well, obviously they tend not to have the negotiating power or the muscle, and perhaps that's where this small business conciliation service I just mentioned is going to come into play. So if you are a small business sole trader, make sure all your terms and conditions are clear and do whatever you can to try and make sure that they understand the importance that you place on cash flow so it doesn't stifle growth. Now, what about the alternative lending space? One thing that caught my eye, Metro Bank, an American bank, been here a number of years now, really starting to help small businesses, but they've come up with something really innovative. They are going to lend their own money now on the online lending platform Zopa. So it's the first example I've seen of a high street bank actually lending its own funds on an online lending platform, such as Zopa. So perhaps, it may be a sign of things to come, where banks may just say, well, we're going to help small businesses by lending money direct through these established platforms. An interesting innovation. Let's see what develops there over the next couple of months or years. I mentioned many bulletins ago about a new bank that had caught my eye called Oaknorth. And it was early 2004, I think, when it caught my eye that they were looking to apply for a banking license. Well, that's all now been done. They're fully licensed and the bank is now up and running. I was lucky enough to speak to one of the key people there earlier this week when they were talking to us on the Business Loan Services team about what we can do to work with them. And it was great to hear their philosophy around supporting small businesses, which is their main target market. So if you want to know more about Oaknorth and what it can do in its range of products, just pop along to their website, oaknorth.com, and you'll see everything listed there. So a new player on the market, really keen to help small businesses, and I think one to watch. So, my business finance tip of the week. Early this week, I had an opportunity to hear speak Steve Houghton-Burnett. Now, Steve is an angel investor, a serial entrepreneur, very successful, and a great speaker all about business success and growth. And I had the opportunity after the session to have a chat with Steve and to ask him about his experience with crowdfunding and equity in particular. And so Steve has shared with us 3 key tips if you're looking to raise equity via crowdfunding. So let's go to that quick chat now.
I think that the 3 tips that I would give are, you need to, first of all, understand which crowdfunding platform you're going to go for. There are different options in crowdfunding, so you need to do some research into what crowdfunding is. So, for example, something called Kickstarter does not give away equity in your business. But Kickstarter doesn't let you finance your business. You have to finance a discrete project. So if you've got something that's a real discrete project, then Kickstarter would be the right thing. There are other crowdfunding platforms that allow you to give away an equity share in your business. For example, Crowdcube in the UK is a fantastic one that does equity investment. But you have to make sure that you do the research, because you want to make sure it's the right sort of crowdfunding platform for you. So number 1 is do your research like any other business. Number 2 is think about the investor being the small man in the street. This is not like when you pitch to a bank, it's not like when you pitch to a venture capitalist. What happens with crowdfunding is, as the name implies, it's lots and lots and lots of small investors. Often they'll be investing between £250 and £2,000 of their own personal investment pot. The thing you have to do there is make sure they understand why you are a good investment. So just like when you're preparing any other business plan, you still have to cross the T's and dot the I's. Crowdfunding is not a platform for people who want to wing it. You have to be prepared to answer hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions from people. So you've got to be prepared for all the questions that you're going to get from all these small investors who might see your thing as the next best thing. So that's number 2, is make sure you're pitching for the man in the street and you're answering the man in the street's questions. The third thing I would say with crowdfunding, and a really important thing about crowdfunding, is you've got to make sure that you are promoting it. Just getting onto a crowdfunding platform will not get you crowdfunding. Like every good overnight success, there's lots of work that goes in beforehand. So typically I would advise people, spend 3 to 6 months before you press the button to make your crowdfunding project go live, starting to get vibe out there, start to get people interested in what it is, start to get people asking questions about when can I see it, which crowdfunding platform will it be on. You really should know where 30% of your funding is coming from on the day that you press the button, at least 30%. Whatever you do, do not wait until the day your crowdfunding goes live to start promoting it.
So there we are, 3 great tips from Steve there if you're looking to raise equity through crowdfunding. If you want to know more about what Steve does, go along to his website, theformulaguy.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at theformulaguy. And why the Formula Guy? Well, when you visit his website, you will see Steve's got a great toolkit of formulas all around business growth and success. Some really good stuff there. So do pop along to his website and follow him on Twitter. So that's it for this week. I'd say don't forget that if you're watching this on audio, you can now get the podcast version of this video both on iTunes and on SoundCloud. All you have to do, go onto iTunes or SoundCloud, search Business Finance Bulletin, and there you'll find out how to download this podcast version and a few of the others as well. So that's it for this week. Don't forget, if you have a business finance case that you want to chat through, by all means get in touch with us. Drop us a line, info@businessloanservices.co.uk, or pop along to our website, businessloanservices.co.uk. That's it for this week. Thanks very much as ever for joining me. I look forward to being with you again next Friday. Have a great, successful, profitable week. Cheers now. Bye-bye.